With Doubtnut, get instant video solutions to all your maths, physics, chemistry, and biology doubts. Just click the image of the question, crop the question, and get instant video solution. Download Doubtnut app today.
In this question, we are asked that below is the given unorganized list of some important events in the human female reproductive cycle. Identify the correct sequence of these events and we have to select the correct option, right? So the first statement is given to us: the secretion of FSH, growth of corpus luteum, growth of follicle, ovulation, sudden increase in the level of LH, right? So basically during the human female reproductive cycle, it is basically a 28 days sexual cycle that's basically occur in the females, right? And it basically involves the 4 phases. So the very first phase is the menstrual phase, right? The very first phase is basically the menstrual phase, right? So during which the menstruation basically occurs, right? So during this phase, the endometrial lining of the uterus basically sheds. Once the endometrial lining of the uterus has been shed, has been degenerated, then what happens is that the proliferation of the endometrial lining of the uterus basically occurs. So during this time, the follicular stimulating hormone starts its secretion gets started, right? So that it can help in proliferation of the inner lining of the uterus, right? Then next what happens is, once the proliferation has done, right, the secretion of FSH is done, then this leads to this follicle stimulating hormone. It starts the growth of the follicle, right? It starts the growth of the follicle, and once the follicle has grown properly, then basically what happens is that there is a increase in level of the luteinizing hormone is seen, right? This sudden increase in the LH is known as the LH surge, right? The level of the luteinizing hormone increases to such a high level, right, that it leads to the ovulation, right? That's basically known as the release of ovum from the ovary. Now once the ovum has been released from the ovary, right, then the growth of the corpus luteum basically occurs, right? Growth of the corpus luteum basically occurs. Now what happens is that this ovulation happens, right? The ovum is released from the ovary, right? So the ovum is basically contained by the Graafian follicle. Graafian follicle is the mature follicle, right, in which the ovum is present. So once the Graafian follicle ruptures, it releases the ovum, and then that empty Graafian follicle, it degenerates, it regresses and gets converted into the corpus luteum, right? So all of these events are mentioned here, right? So the very first event is basically the secretion of the FSH, right, which leads to the growth of the follicle, right? Once the follicle is grown, then there is a sudden increase in the level of LH, which leads to the ovulation, and lastly the growth of corpus luteum basically takes place. And this correct sequence is given to us under option 4, right? So this is the correct answer here.
For class 6 to 12, IIT JEE and NEET level. Trusted by more than 5 crore students. Download Doubtnut app today.